Yes! That is the kind of tuck we want. You can see the smile it puts on my face. Clearly I'm on the right track here. Look at the height of the mud flap. Ghastly! It's here, it's arrived. All the gear for the Kingswood panel van. Let me show you what we got. So what we have is drop spindles. These are supplied by Castlemaine Rod Shop. Normally if you're going to lower a car, you can take suspension height out of the spring by either lowering the spring, changing the spring rate, chopping the spring, something like that. In our case, we're actually going to go on air spring that we can deflate and inflate to lift and lower the vehicle. This is going to give us a 2-inch drop from standard before we touch anything. It's actually lifting the position of the wheel on the hub 2 inches up, which basically brings the whole height of the car 2 inches lower to the ground. To achieve like the lowered result that we're after, there's a few different ways. This thing's really going to be mostly a static or very low speed cruiser type vehicle. So it's going to go to a show, it's going to roll on and off a trailer, it's going to look the part, we're going to start some conversations with it. We're going to use these lowering blocks, leave the leaf springs in this car for the time being. I hear you say, but what about doing a 4-link or doing this properly? The next phases after this will involve an engine swap. Now I don't know exactly what we're going to commit to in terms of that engine driveline swap yet. So that we don't have to change too much in this car, we're going to modify the leaf springs with either a leaf flip or maybe even just take a couple of the leaves physically out of the equation. So the leaf springs that are there factory are effectively going to become more like locating arms than actual springs now. We have an airbag suspension kit which has been supplied by Air Ride Suspension Supplies in Victoria. The big gift. This is our air suspension kit in terms of bags and brackets. We have front bags, which are bellow type. I think these are Slam Specialties by the looks of them, 6-inch bags. It looks like these will bolt into place of the factory spring with that bracket, so that's going to slide up inside and bolt in where the factory shock bolts in at the top and then bolts onto the control arm at the bottom. So when this compresses, no air inside of it, not flat but as flat as it can be, internal bump stops usually inside of these will be as low as it'll go. That's going to take a lot of the compression or a lot of the height out of the spring, and then we got our 2-inch drop as well. Now in the rear, this is what's called like a rolling sleeve type bag, I believe. This will bolt to the chassis on the inside, most likely, the chassis rail, and then be welded onto the diff tube up inside of the back of here. This is after it's been cleaned and washed and whatever, but there's still so much just mud and all sorts of grime under here from years of paddock use. You can see how it works. It's just a crummy leaf spring. Essentially, that's going to go like so. The achieved drop, 2 fists worth. It's a 2-fist drop. If it's a 2-fist drop, that means that the top of that tyre should be well up into this wheel tub, and that basically means that that wheel arch, in theory, is probably going to be sitting up very close to that white wall, which I think is going to look fat. It just kind of dawned on me as I got this car up in the air and I got all of the wheels off it and I got the jack stands under it and whatever. Like, this car and I have been together since about 12, 13 years old, and like, this is the first time in that entire time that I've actually got to a point where I'm starting to do some modifications with this thing. Like, it just sort of hit me it just sort of hit me real hard that it's like finally happening. We're finally doing something with this, you know. Like, we're coming up on 3 years since I started my business, which is CanFit, if you haven't seen it before. It's auto accessories based business where we go around fitting radios and lights and just stuff to cars. But moving forward, starting the collective, working with guys like Brett that's highly involved with the collective and really excited about it, and other people who have shown support either here on our YouTube channel or through any of our other social media. It's unbelievable just how far it's come. So look, I'm really humbled by it. It's just a super exciting time. I can start getting stuck into running some airlines and things in this car. Stay tuned. Alright, so we have just investigated now the modified leaf. Removed 2 leaves from the whole scenario, 2-inch lowering blocks, and so far a cool looking band. One problem though, it's not annoyingly cool. It's not low enough. We'd like it lower, so we're now going to investigate ways to do that. So yeah, you can see that sort of the bodgy throw together setup we've got in there at the moment is just 2 leaves with the 2-inch block. It's looking like we might have more work to do to get it to where we want to get it. Keep playing with it. It still has a leaf spring in it, but the leaf spring is pretty bowing, meaning it's bowing a shitload. So I've only got 1 spring in there at the moment, and you can see the kind of tension it's under because it's actually bending up. We're on the right track there. I am just very concerned about actually snapping the spring. That kind of tuck. I didn't think we'd actually achieve this level of tuck with a leaf still in there, so you wouldn't want to drive it down the road very far. This side, what I do with the other side.
Put it on. Oh yeah, some old rusty nuts.
Old balls, gross. It's got a 10-year plan. What is it? Not die? Where's the wheel nuts at?
Yep.
Say hello to my little friend.
Come down with it.
Ready?
Yeah.
It looks fat from this side.
It looks fat from this side. Look at the smile on this guy's face. That is cool. That is wicked. Question is, can we get the jack out?
We'll just drive it off.
That looks pretty cool. It's hitting the floor.
It's probably hitting the bump stop on the top of the diff. Bump stop on top of the diff.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah, that rubber stop in the middle.
Rubber stop
Yeah.
on the diff.
Yeah.
That's good, mate. Oh. It's done.
It looks so cool.
When you think about how tall these are,
Yeah.
like with the roof line.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a win. That is definitely a win. We took it to the extreme, but
That's so good.
Yeah.
before we take on the front.
All the air lines are run, tanks there. Like I said, we'll start looking at getting this all hooked up now.
Towing the invisible caravan.
Looks fat.
Sort of ran out of time, didn't we?
Yeah, today we have.
Yeah, we ran out of time, so
It's just late in the day.
yeah.
Plus
So
we also need a couple of fittings for the air tank and whatever, so
next time, front end, air system,
yep.
and hopefully some up and down motion.
Yes.
Until then, we'll see you next time.
Told you.